Once you get onto your back, all you need to do is you can close your eyes if you like. We're just going to spend about 5 minutes in this position, and we're going to use this time to tune into what our body's already doing. So while you're laying there, if you want, you can place your hands on your abdomen. And I want to invite you to be aware that your immune system, 70% of it lives in your intestines. So you can start to walk your fingers around your abdominal area, pressing with whatever pressure feels appropriate to you. And perhaps even just pepper that movement with some gratitude, thanking this part of your body for working and doing all that it does without your conscious effort. In addition to providing immunity, this part of our body mitigates inflammatory responses of the body, which of course today we know that certain pathogens that we might face, such as COVID, which triggers inflammatory responses, one of the big issues we have is our body's response goes haywire. So what you want to do is you want to massage this part of your body very gently, nothing specific really, it's just babying this part of your body and allowing everything to do what it does best. But you're giving this part of your body the signal that everything is cool, everything is calm, and everything is clear. Obviously, if you were being chased by a bear right now, you wouldn't be massaging your abdomen. So trust that simply placing your hands in a loving, compassionate way on your abdominal area is a great way to tell your body, hey, no matter what we were thinking about before we came into this class today, no matter what's been going on this past week, this past month, this past year, this past decade, everything is calm and everything is as peaceful as it needs to be for healing to take place right now. Feel free to set an intention for today's movement practice, guys. You know, what would you like to get out of it? Is a good question. And as you set your intention, I want to invite you to scan your body from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. It's kind of like when you put something on the copy machine and that light passes back and forth. That light, you can consider that your awareness or your consciousness. And just scan your body and see what parts of your body need a little extra attention this morning. Maybe a little bit of communication, a little dialogue needs to take place. Like, what does that part of your body want to tell you? And see if you can witness and become aware of what it is that this part of your body is trying to show you or teach you. And respond to that part of your body with hope, confidence, and assurance. We might call that faith, that everything's going to be as it will be. And if we get in line with what's already going on, which is healing, we can actually bolster and encourage healing to happen more readily. So if you want to add some additional massage to any other part of your body that needs a little attention this morning, feel free to bring your hands there. You got some hips that have been talking to you. You got some shoulders. You got an ankle, an elbow, a wrist, some fingers. Just add some gentle massage. You rub your hands together. You can start to do perhaps a good morning stretch. Stretch your body out, extending the distance between your hands and your feet. You know that position you put yourself in when you go, and you really, really enjoy that? go ahead and feel free to do that a little bit this morning and explore different positions of stretch. This is called pendiculation, and it's very important as a part of your morning regimen, right? Sometimes we bypass it. We know it feels good, but sometimes you just like, alarm goes off, you hop up and get on with your day. So we're going to move into our first movement today, which is a supine reach. And we're going to just start reaching with our foot. So all you're going to do is take your arms above your head. You're going to bend one knee, foot flat on the ground. Then you're going to straighten that leg and just reach across the body. Very, very slowly. Now as you reach across the body, you're just going to feel around with that foot, touching in different places. Inhale, exhale. Let go of tension. Let's bring that leg back to the ground and switch sides now. So, as you place your foot on the ground, make sure that you get your core activated by drawing the belly button towards the spine, and then go ahead and reach through that foot on the other side. You're just reaching across the body. Inhale, exhale. There's going to be positions today that might cause you to hold your breath, or you might find yourself, rather, holding your breath. And those are times especially where we want to bring the diaphragmatic breath into the movement so that we can get more out of that actual movement and move our body into a state of efficiency. Let's switch sides again, please. So just, again, you can start by bending your knee, or you can just move straight into the reach. Reach across the body. You can imagine reaching through each one of your toes. So you'll notice I kind of bend my knee straighten, and I'm just kind of bringing some attention, because energy flows where your attention goes. So what I'm trying to do is just bring some energy into the furthest parts of my body. Switch sides, same thing. Again, I'm reaching through each toe. So, a lot of times we don't think about our pinky toe, but see if you can take some attention into that and then bring that pinky toe as far away from your body as you can, reaching through that toe. Just notice how good that feels to bring some attention into parts of your body that you don't normally think about. Let's switch sides again, please. Reaching. You can reach it straight up into the air. You can reach it with a bent knee. You can reach it a little bit further away from your arms. The choice is yours. Reaching around and really exploring that sensation. All right, our next movement today is going to be some get-ups. So what does that mean? Well, you're going to bend your knees, feet flat on your mat. I want you to draw your belly button towards your spine. You're going to tuck your butt underneath. You're going to lift your feet up off the ground and start doing some gentle rocking by bringing the chin towards the chest. So you're just rocking. And this helps to massage the back muscles. You can keep your arms in close to your body in a top position. And then what you're going to do is you're going to use the momentum of your legs to take yourself forward up into a tall kneeling or a deep squat type position. So let's just try that a couple times. You're rocking forward and back, and use that momentum to come forward. Now once you come forward, see if you can create some length through the spine. And then round your back and slowly come right back into your rock. Here, look around, rotate through the spine, through your neck. Go ahead, rock back. Now, if this is super difficult, then you need to use your hands to kind of push you to this upright position. That's totally fine. If this is super easy for you, perhaps you want to use a staggered or one foot in front of the other and try actually starting to move a little bit more towards actually getting up. Okay, guys, our next movement is squats. Let's go ahead and come to a standing position, please. This is a great way to warm up. All you're going to do, we're going to start with some single leg squats. So let's get ourselves into a good position first and foremost. You're going to put all your weight into one leg. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see. We're just going to drop our weight back with a neutral spine. You can go as low as you'd like. I really enjoy touching the ground, and then we're going to press through the heel and stand right up. You really want to emphasize the glute activation of this exercise, nice and strong. Okay? If you want to go into an alternating right away, as opposed to doing the 8 to 15 or whatever reps that you might normally do, that's fine. It's not about overusing the body part, but rather practicing good form and activating these larger muscles before we do even more movement. I like to also add a little bit of a walk around in my environment as I go. Perhaps I'm in my garden and I want to pick some weeds here. Perhaps I'm walking through my house and I have to pick up this or that. These are all very, very important functional movements. And then, of course, you can choose to spend a little time in this squat position with most of your weight into that one leg. All right. Let's get back onto our backside for some more reaches. This time we're going to reach with our arm. Same exact thing that we did before, only this time we're using our hand. So, again, if you want to have your knees bent for comfort, that's fine, or you can keep them straight. We're just going to reach the arm across the body. And again, just like with the foot, I'm bringing my attention into the different fingers as I reach across. Reach across. See how far, let's switch sides. See how much you can feel the air in your room with each one of your fingers. Now, just because this is an arm reach, and switch it to your own speed, please. Just because this is an arm reach doesn't mean I can't move my other parts of my body. So, I'm going to give you some guidelines or some encouragement of what movement we're doing, and then it's up to you to personalize that movement and to add to that movement while we go. Remember, breathe throughout the process, especially when we get into these positions where we're, bending or twisting. A lot of times we have a tendency to hold our breaths. This is where I want you to really let it go. Let go of the tension. Let your strong body reveal what it can do for you. Okay, let's go back to our rocking get-ups. So again, bend both knees, feet flat on the mat. You're drawing your belly button towards your spine to contract the transverse abdominis. From there, let's lift the feet up off the ground and use that momentum to come forward and back. This time, what we'll do is we'll come to an upright position and place our hand to the side and then come to standing. I don't really care how you do that as long as you come to standing. This is a rocking get up. And then let's roll right back onto our backside. So I'm rocking forward and back. Let's try it again. I have one foot or one leg in front of the other. And then I come right to standing and then lower myself back down. Think ninja smooth. Very quiet. There should be very little noise as you move yourself around. Nice and easy. Perhaps you're on the ground and you need to get up quickly. So you want to prepare yourself to be able to do that. There's a direct correlation, keep moving please. There's a direct correlation between our ability to get up and down off the ground and mortality. Basically, the easier it is for you to get up and down off the ground has a direct relationship with your overall health. Okay, let's come to standing. Now we're going to do squats again. This time we'll do more of a sumo squat. We all know what a sumo squat is, so your feet are going to be double shoulder width apart, feet are pointed out to the sides. Again, what I like to do when I'm doing my squats is get my hands to touch the ground. Now once I'm in this position, I can shift my body weight from side to side. I can drop one knee towards the ground, come back up, and I'm really pushing through the tailbone. I really want to separate my sit bones and get those hips to open up nice and wide. Okay, and then I come right to my stand-up position, maybe walk around a little bit, get my feet, again, double shoulder width apart, drop my hands down to the ground. I can move my hands into different positions because, again, even though we're doing like a squat, it doesn't mean we can't focus on the arms and what's happening in other parts of the body as well. So the main movement is sumo squat, and then the secondary movements are everything else that you do. This idea of dropping one knee to the ground at a time, very, very helpful and productive in opening up those hips. Okay, again, moving back into that standing position, walk around a little bit. Inhale, exhale continuously, but really making sure that you expand in that lower abdomen and in those lower ribs, front, sides, and back. Okay, so you get a little bit of a lateral lunge going into the equation as well. Okay, let's move back onto our back sides one more time. This time what we're going to do is, we're going to imagine that we're laying in bed, our legs are straight. You're going to draw your belly button towards your spine and come right up to an upright seated position. Once you're here, I want you to bring your belly button forward, contract the quadricep muscles, toes point towards the nose, and then you're going to round your back, slowly come back onto your backside as slowly as you possibly can. Okay, let's try that again. So again, first, draw the belly button towards the spine. That creates that nice contraction in transverse abdominis. Then, get yourself to your upright position. Press through the crown of the head. Perhaps rotate through the spine. And then when you're ready, lower yourself back down. Nice and easy. The process is important, guys. Draw the belly button towards the spine first, because the transverse abdominis makes up the most inner layer of your abdominal musculature. So we really want to make sure that thing is active, healthy, and strong. Add whatever little details you want, as long as you're using the movement of sit-up as your baseline. If this is very difficult, you can always use the momentum of one leg. You can use the momentum of two legs. Whatever one you use is completely awesome. All right. From here, what we're going to do is our knees are bent, feet flat on your mat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to practice pressing my hips up off the ground. So I'm going to bring my feet up off the ground, and I'm going to press up into the air and slowly lower myself down. Let's try that again. So remember, just like the other movements, draw the belly button towards the spine first, then lift the feet up off the ground and lift those feet up into the air. Lower yourself down. Now you can choose to continue to do this movement Slowly lowering yourself down and lowering the leg down slowly will get a nice abdominal exercise. It will also help to work the hip flexors eccentrically. And then if you want to really add something to this movement, what you can do is you can place one hand over your shoulder, one arm will be straight, and you can come over the top side. Now I want you to be careful. If you're not familiar with rolling over your shoulder, please be very careful. But the idea is whatever arm is straight, you're looking towards that arm. And we always return to that good position and also a sense of relaxation. So again, I can straighten my arm. One arm is bent. I bring the legs up over and then come right back down. Which side? Over and back down. Over and back down. Okay. So from there, we're going to go back into our standing position, please. So go ahead and rock yourself up to standing. Now we're going to do our squats from a staggered stance. One foot's in front of the other. I lower myself down and touch the earth. Drop my weight back, come to standing. Switch sides. One foot in front of the other. Lower yourself down, touch the earth. As much as you can, keep your spine in a neutral position. Press yourself up, walk around. Lower yourself down. If you want to switch while you're here, you're going to come to standing, feel free. Staggered stance. My feet can be kind of close together for my staggered stance. I can bring them a little bit further apart, almost like a lunge. The idea is to lower myself and then to press myself back into standing. Really explore the sensations in the feet. Spread those toes wide. Lower yourself with control. Feeling the movement throughout. This isn't just a mindless lunge or squat. This is a bring your attention into the sensations. Press yourself up. Lower down. Press yourself up. Lower down. The speed is up to you. You can go as fast or as slow as you want. All right. For this next one, I'm going to use I'm going to use a pillow under my knees. You don't need to use a pillow, but if you want to, you can. And what we're going to do is some tall kneeling variations. We're going to start with a step out. And the movement is exactly what it says. So what I'm going to do from a tall kneeling position is I'm going to get myself into a good position first with my rib cage stacked perfectly over my pelvis. I'm going to tuck my butt underneath, contracting my abdominal muscles. I'm going to put all my weight into one side and step out with the other leg. Okay, with control, I'm going to bring this leg back. I can lower myself over my heels if I like. Just relax for a moment, relax your spine. Get some nice spinal articulations moving. And then when you're ready, we're going to hinge forward at the waist. Press through those glutes. I want you to tuck that butt underneath. The abdominal muscles are contracting strongly. Step out. Okay, let's say that you already got this movement down. You're like, yeah, I got this. Okay, so then you can start to step out into different directions. This is a great hip mobilization. So again, the idea is to step out. I don't care if you step forward, side, back. You can do a combination of all those. The idea is to mobilize through the hip as you step out. Okay, so from here, we're going to do something called a lateral crunch. So you're on one knee, one leg's out to the side. You're going to take your hands interlaced behind your head, and you're going to slowly crunch to the side, lowering your elbow towards the ground.
and then come right back up. You can alternately or alternatively take your hands and extend them through the environment. But when you're doing this, I want you to feel that connection all the way through the body as you come back up. Let's go ahead and switch sides. You bring that leg out to the side. You can interlace those fingers. Bring yourself down and up with control. You can use variations such as turning your sternum a little bit towards the sky. But remember, make sure it's comfortable for you. These movements are safe if they're practiced progressively. And then again, I can use the alternation or the option of opening the arms up and reaching, really reaching through the body. Remember, when you get to that reach, breathe. Let your breath be the most noticeable aspect of the whole movement. And back up. To the side. Reach out. Now, if this is really easy for you and you want to get a little bit more out of it, you can feel free to stay in this position for a few moments and or do several crunches in a row. Okay? Last time the other side, same exact thing. To feel some nice activation of the lateral abdominal musculature. Okay, so from here, we're going to move into some shoulder reaches. So this is the same position. We're going to use the same position here. And what we're going to do from our tongue kneeling position is we're going to rotate through the spine, and then we're going to reach back behind us with our arm. So if you'll notice from the side view, I'm rotating, reaching, and there's a little bit of a leaning happening here. Inhale, exhale from this lean. Notice what happens to the body when you add that breath. Okay, come back, switch sides. Rotate, reach, and now you can add to this movement by reaching above. You can even reach behind, almost like you're gonna, if you were gonna fall, reaching your arm back to kind of catch yourself here. And up, switch side. Nice and easy, nice and controlled. You can also feel free just to lower your glutes down to your heels and get your rotation and your reach going that way. Okay? All right. 1, 2 more of those. Reaching, rotating, and we move right back into our step outs. So again, what you want to do is make sure you tuck your butt underneath. From this position, very slowly and carefully and with control, bring all your weight into one leg and step out. This time, we're just going to add a reach. So as you step out, you're reaching into your environment. And then bring both the arm and the leg back to the sides. So I reach out slowly with control. I'm reaching through, you can see it. I'm reaching through the fingers. I can also externally rotate that back leg. I can externally rotate through that back leg and get some additional angles and vectors to challenge my connective tissue. And that's very, very important. Okay, be careful on those knees. If you need to use your hands to support your navigation, that's awesome. And then again, just reach out, reach, get a nice, gentle opening of the inside of the legs, the adductor, really feeling the hip, inside the hip joint, and really allowing yourself freedom to tweak the movement to work for you. So remember, the baseline is step out, and then you choose what you want to do with it. Step out. Nice and easy. Okay. So from here, back into our lateral crunches. So we're in our kneeling position. Again, if this is difficult on your knees, you can even do this from a seated position. So I can cross my legs in front of my body, take my arms out this way, and I can lower myself towards one side, bringing the elbow closer to the ground, and then coming right back up. The key with this movement is not just to do lateral flexion, but to actually extend almost like a fountain through the top of the head and to distribute that lateral flexion throughout each part of your spine evenly. So as I'm moving, I'm really pressing through the crown of my head. My rib cage is sitting perfectly over my pelvis. And I'm getting some nice, gentle opening while I'm activating. So it's like a stretch and activation all at the same time. Inhale, perhaps, as you're in that central position. Make sure you're nice and smooth and fluid through the spine. Add some nice, gentle movements. See where your spine is needing a little bit more activity or movement today. And then when you're ready, get down into that flex position. You can also bring your body weight forward and to the other side, coming back up, switch. This should feel really, really good for the lateral rib cage, to the back side of the rib cage as you bring yourself forward. All sorts of potential with this one movement. Okay, now we're going to move back into our shoulder reaches or our arm reaches. Again, if you want to keep in this position, you can. And all we're going to do is we're going to practice good position of the spine. Contract the muscles that help to rotate the spine and reach behind and above, forward, side. Take those fingers. You can rotate your arm bone, switch sides. So again, rotate through my spine, reach back, reach up, reach forward, reach to the side, and I'm breathing throughout the process. Let's try that again. So inhale, exhale, reach behind. Inhale, arm comes above. Exhale, arm comes forward. Switch sides. Inhale. Exhale, reach behind. You can use your hands to kind of give some support this way as well for the rotation, or you can choose to just use the back muscles to get you there. Inhale, bringing the arm above. Exhale, moving forward. So again, moving in the way that works for you. You can use any of the variations that you like. You can use the support of your hands, or you can take the hands out of it. The choice is yours. Okay? So you're just making sure that you understand that the movement is arm reaches. Just reaching with my arm. And I want to start to think, what type of movements are going to offset the things that I do every day. This is going to help that movement, or to offset the effect of that movement, I should say. Okay, guys, back to our deep kneeling position one more time for our step out. So come into your kneeling position, please. And again, if this is uncomfortable for you, like let's say the knees aren't comfortable, you can come into a squat position and do the same exact thing. So I can step out this way, bring my weight forward, bring my weight back, get those feet underneath my body, and then the same exact thing. Slowly with control, bringing the leg out to the side, and pull myself forward. Sometimes we might have some knee issues where it really feels uncomfortable to bring those knees onto the ground, and that's okay. That shouldn't prevent us from our movement practice. In fact, our movement practice can help to heal those parts of our body that don't feel comfortable when we're moving. So little did we know, sometimes it seems counterintuitive to move when we feel pain. But the idea is movement is a tremendous healer. Movement helps our body to, among other things, get the fluids circulating, those healing fluids. So we want to move our body around and get your mind in tune with what your body's already doing. Step out, bring it back. Use your hands as much or as little as you like. Nice and easy. Take a breath. Come back to center. Move your spine. Nice and buoyant through the spine. Nice and relaxed. And we're going to go right into our lateral crunches. So again, from our kneeling position, take one leg out to the side. We're going to reach towards the opposite side of where your leg is stretching out. You're reaching and coming right back up. And you're thinking about distributing this movement throughout the whole body. If you feel this movement, switch sides please. If you feel this movement in one place or two places, what you want to try to do is see if you can distribute the sensations a little bit more evenly throughout the whole structure, throughout the whole body, if you will. Bring it back. Support yourself as much as you need. And again, use whatever variation works for you. If you wanted to stay in this position for several crunches, maybe 8 to 12, whatever it might be, feel free to do so. Just make sure that you're breathing. Nice and strong. You can change the angle. A little bit more forward. A little bit more back. But this is nice and smooth and controlled. This shouldn't be a very aggressive movement. Switch sides. One more time, other side. Nice and relaxed throughout the whole movement. Alright, now for our last set of shoulder reaches, choose a position that works for you. Perhaps it's kneeling. Perhaps it's from a side bend sit position here. Any variation or any position, starting position is fine. I'm going to try using a combination of a side bend sit with reach. I'm going to pivot my knees to the other side. Reach. Pivot my legs to the other side. Reach. And remember, make it as hard as you want it to be, or as difficult as you want it to be. Obviously, everybody's different. This is adding some nice variations, the same idea. So the idea or the instruction is to reach with the arms. Or the shoulder, whatever you want to call it. How you do that and how you use that is up to you. The more functional you make it, the better. If you have something in your environment that you can reach for and pick up, makes it even more functional. Takes the mind out of the process, which can be very advantageous when practicing movement. A lot of times we're focusing on alignment, which is very good. But it's also important to take the mind out of it and practice moving out of alignment, because that's where we live life, right? Reach. Reach. Okay, guys, we're going to go into our next movement, which is going to be called a 3-point squat variation. So let's go ahead and we'll be on 3 points of support. 2 feet and 1 arm. And all you're going to do is you're simply going to walk around in this squat position, keeping one hand off the ground. So I drop one knee towards the ground, I can put all my weight into one leg, step out a little bit, move forward, switch hands. The idea or the suggestion is 3-point squat, right? So there's 3 points of support, and I can alternate. I can also choose to use 3 points where one foot is off. Step across, step across. Doesn't matter how you do it. The idea is to move around in this deep squat position, always having 3 points of support. Nice and low, while simultaneously keeping that upright head posture. It's the opposite of where we find ourselves a lot of times today. When we're reading a book, on a computer, wherever we are, we're always like this. So you want to make sure that you're also practicing extending and pressing through the crown of the head as you're moving around. Always keeping 3 points of support the entire time. Okay, guys, from here, let's sit our butt onto the ground, and we're going to do some supine bridges. So, lower yourself to the ground, nice and easy with control. From this supine position, you're going to tuck your butt underneath, you're going to press through the heels into a nice bridge. Our first bridge activity will be marching. So while keeping your hips stable, you're going to lift one foot off the ground, lower it down, and then the other. So this can look a lot of different ways. I can straighten the leg. I can bring the leg across, out to the side. But as much as possible, see if you can keep those hips balanced and squared while you do your march. Pressing through those glutes, nice and strong, and then keeping that stability in the hips while I march. Again, use the variation that works for you. Mix it up. The foundation suggestion or the foundational instruction is a bridge march. You modify it to make it work for you. Just because I'm bridge marching doesn't mean I can't get my arms involved to some degree. Adding the extension of the leg is going to get those quadricep muscles very nicely, which is really good. Again, offsetting some of the effects of sitting a lot throughout our daily lives. So again, thinking about how these movements can be used in our daily life or used to offset what we're doing in our daily lives. Okay, from here, let's go ahead and get into our hands and knees, please. So we call it a foot-hand position or knee-hand position. From our knee-hand position, we're going to have our hands under our shoulders, our knees are under our hips. I'm going to lift my knees about an inch off the ground. From here, I'm going to make sure my shoulders are in a good position by externally rotating my shoulders. So the pits of my elbows should be facing forward. From here, I'm going to drop my spine in between my shoulders with straight elbows and then lift my spine up towards the ceiling. So we're just pulsing through perhaps 8 to 12 times. You really want to see if you can keep those elbows forward and keep your attention on movement through the scapula, through the shoulder, that scapulothoracic joint. From here, I'm going to pick up opposite arm, opposite leg. If you want to add to the difficulty, reach it further out. My fingers are spread wide. I can move around. And move around my environment. Okay, let's take ourselves back into a deep squat type position. And this time what we're going to do is we're going to focus on reaching out with our foot. So from our 3 points of contact, what you're going to do is put all of your weight into 2 points and then reach the foot out to the side. Take your body weight to the other side. You might even call this a lateral lunge. Okay, once I'm in this position, slowly with control, I'm going to bring that other leg in. Now, if that gets crampy, what I can do is I can change my position and use movement to take that cramp out. And then once I'm ready again, I go right back into my 3 points of support to 2 points of support, reach, and move. Once you're in that new position, bring that leg back and you return to your 3 points of support. Switch. See how smooth you can move. You'll notice that I can get some external rotation here and add a gentle stretch into the hamstrings. I can make sure that I'm using good alignment through my spine. And I'm nice and controlled through the whole process. Reach, move. Reach, move. Always returning to that 3 points of support. And again, you'll find what variation works for you. If your hip flexors are weak, then you can use a different body position. Use your body weight to take you over and get that foot back to you. All right. Let's get back onto our backside for our bridging again. You're coming back down onto the ground. This time when we do our bridge, I want you to tuck that butt underneath, press through the heels into your bridge. This time you're going to bring your shoulder blades together and you're going to reach up overhead. Okay? Bring that arm back, reach overhead. Back, reach. And what's nice about this movement, you can keep alternating as I'm talking, but what's nice about this movement is I'm massaging my deltoid and the attachments on my rotator cuff with the compression of my body into the ground. Reach. Reach. Inhale, exhale. Make sure that you're breathing through the whole process. Reach across. Reach above. Feeling nice and strong and controlled through the whole movement. So even though I'm reaching through my arms, I'm also feeling that nice stability and control of both my leg muscles, my abdominal muscles, everything's working. Inhale, exhale as you go, guys. Remember, the breath is the center of movement practice, as you all know. Inhale, exhale. Keep moving through your bridges. Okay, guys. Whew. From here, let's draw our belly button towards our spine and come to an upright seated position, please. From here, take the hands behind you. We're going to move into an inverted crawl. So your feet are in front. Your hands are behind you. You're going to get a good position in the shoulders first. So your shoulders are back and down. And then you're going to lift your butt up off the ground. Now from this position, I'm going to walk my hands forward and then bring my legs forward. This is, when we were kids, I think we called this the crab crawl, right? This is a really, really awesome exercise for us to continue to do as we get older, but you want to make sure that you're really pressing through those hands into the ground so that your head and is away from the ears. You don't want to be sinking in between like this, but rather press yourself through. You can go sideways. You can move the other way. You can add a break When you rock back, come right back up, move yourself around. Make it nice and smooth. Make it flow. Okay. All right, guys. Let's bring ourselves back into our 3 points of support. So it's like a deep squat with a hand on the ground. This time we're going to add a reach. So instead of reaching with the leg like we did last time, this time we're going to reach with the arm. I'm on the ground. I need to reach for something or someone. You want to have a nice base of support. You're going to move around just a little bit and add a gentle reach. A gentle reach. See how far you can reach. Add some finger movements. Reach. Your legs can be close. I can reach above. I can reach behind. But there's always those 3 points of support. Right? And this is very important, like in a climbing situation. Perhaps you're climbing on some rocks, or maybe even in a tree, out in nature. You always want to have those 3 points of support as you reach around. And even if I come up to my fingers, that's okay. Or up onto the balls of my foot, that's okay. I just want to have that good, solid 3 points of support at all times. And then I add my reach. Breathe while you go. Okay, guys, let's go back onto our backside one more time for our bridges. This time what we're going to do is, again, tucking your butt underneath, drawing your belly button towards your spine, pressing your hips up off the ground. This time what you're going to do is bring your shoulder blades together, and then we're going to kick out with one foot while our hips come back. So I'm going to show you that from different angles so you can see how that looks. My shoulder blades come together. I'm going to kick out almost like I'm trying to get away from something. So as I'm pressing up here, I'm pressing my hips back. So I press up and get out of the way. Press up and get my hips up out of the way. Okay? Press up. Get my hips back. Press up. Get my hips back. Okay? I'm just going to move around a little bit here. So you can make sure to keep moving as you go. So again, my shoulder blades are coming together. I'm lifting one foot off, and whatever foot I lift off the ground, I'm pressing my hips back in the opposite direction. You can even practice just moving in and out of this position as well. Nice and slow, nice and strong, or you can increase the speed. The choice is yours. Okay. So from here, let's get back up to our seated position for one more inverted crawl variation. So get those hands behind you. And what we're going to do is some alternating contralateral arm and leg lift off the ground, if you want to call it that. And what you can do with this movement here is you can also add reaches, or watch what happens to this leg. I'm going to bring it underneath my body so that now I'm in my hand-knee crawl position, and then I come right back. So I have opposite arm, opposite foot. The leg that's off the ground comes under the body. And then I can come right back out of it. Okay? Don't worry about right or wrong. The idea is move and have fun. If you want to stand up, I can add a stand up. I can come down, get into my inverted crawl. I can crawl. Nice and easy. Whatever variation works for you is what you want to do. But I really enjoy adding some walking while I move. I like to open up my hips with a nice slow gait and then go right back into my movement pattern. Keeps things nice and open and smooth and fluid. And that's definitely what we want. Okay, guys. From here, let's get into a prone position. So from your hands and knees, you can lower yourself down towards the ground. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to practice some prone extension. Some might call this cobra pose. But what I'm going to do is I want to initiate that movement from the glutes, the most powerful muscles first. So I'm going to squeeze the glutes. Then I'm going to extend through the spine without my hands. And then when I'm ready, I'll use my hands a little bit to come into that nice full extension of the spine. And just let myself breathe and relax into this position. Now, in this position, I want to make sure that my shoulders are down away from my ears. My arms are externally rotated. I can also alternatively add a hip hike. And then come out and switch sides. When you're in this position, make sure you're pressing into your fingers, not just your wrists. So your fingers are spread wide for a wide base of support, and you're getting that nice open. Okay, let's lower ourselves down nice and easy. From here, we're going to press ourselves in through cobra. Drop your weight back over your heels, child pose. Nice and easy. While you're in this position, your palms come off the ground. You're getting a nice gentle stretch through the lateral rib cage, and you can add some gentle movement through the spine and shoulders. Really just continuing that exploration of movement. Breathing deeply and expansively, and then from here we're going to send a weight through the spine, coming back through tabletop, back through cobra, lower yourself down, and we're going to come right back up. So again, I'm extending through the spine, cobra pose, lift the hips up and back over the heels, child pose, open up that low back. Inhale, exhale, start to slow the breathing down. Nice and easy, nice and relaxed. One more time, bring yourself to the tabletop, lower yourself down. This is like a chaturanga. Nice and easy. Relax, inhale, exhale, extend through the spine. Lift your hips up off the ground. Lower them over your heels. Child pose. Nice and relaxed. Good job, guys. Okay, so from here, let's go ahead and lower ourselves onto our back for some restorative breathing and relaxation. So from this position, from a supine position, your knees are going to be bent. And you're just going to slowly inhale with your knees up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, just drop them over to one side. Breathing in with your knees up towards the ceiling and exhaling, dropping them over to the side. Just let all the unnecessary tension sink into the floor below you. Bring those knees to the center as you breathe in. Expanding those lower ribs, front, sides, and back. And as you exhale, lower those knees to the side. Inhale. Exhale. Roll your head from side to side, allowing the ground to massage the muscles in the base of your skull and the base of your head.
Inhale as you bring your knees to the center. Exhale as you bring them over to the side. Whatever direction your knees are, you can rotate your head in the opposite direction to feel a nice gentle stretch. Remembering that things will be their best as you just relax. So breathing in as your knees come to center. Exhale, lower those legs to the other side. Good. Breathing in one more time. Knees come to the center. Exhale, lower them to the other side. Really nice job, guys. Let's go ahead and rock ourselves up to a seated position, please. Legs crossed in front. We get ourselves into a good position. So again, thinking about length, pressing through the crown of the head with a gentle chin tuck, but I want to encourage you to move your neck around into some circles and just kind of notice what you feel in your neck, just exploring movement, imagining your bones floating in the connective tissue. Your spine is going relaxed. Adding some nice gentle undulations of the spine, feeling the micro movements, guys. Just spending a few moments feeling micro movements within the spine as you breathe and relax, bringing relaxation into your body as you breathe in and exhaling tension. Nice and relaxed. Good. On your last or your next inhalation, not your last, but your next inhalation, let's float our arms out to the side and up towards the ceiling, nice and easy. As we exhale, bring the hands down heart center. Good. Nice and easy. Bring those wrists into a nice extension. Okay, guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed yourselves today. Oh, you're very welcome. Oh, good. Yeah, this is, I guess you could, unique is a good word for it. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I really appreciate it. And I hope to see you guys next time around.